When you think of British monsters, one name immediately surfaces from the depths: Nessie. For nearly a century, the world has been captivated by tales of a plesiosaur-like creature gliding through the murky waters of Loch Ness. She is, without a doubt, the world's most famous cryptid. But to stop at Nessie is to miss out on a whole world of strange and terrifying creatures. The UK is a land steeped in ancient folklore, its every corner haunted by legends that are just as compelling and often far more frightening than their famous Scottish cousin. So today we're venturing beyond the loch to uncover the truth behind some of Britain's most fascinating and terrifying legends. First, we have to give the Queen her due. The legend of a beast in Loch Ness is much older than you might think. The first account actually dates all the way back to the 6th century in a biography of St Columba, who supposedly banished a water beast that had attacked a local. Modern interest exploded in the 1930s, and since then, thousands of sightings have been reported. Theories have ranged from a prehistoric reptile to giant sturgeon or even swimming circus elephants. But what does science say? In 2018, a massive study analysed environmental DNA from water samples all over the loch. They found no evidence of any large unknown animal, certainly not a plesiosaur. What they did find was an abundance of eel DNA. This has led to the plausible, if less romantic, theory that some Nessie sightings might just be encounters with unusually large eels. While science points away from a monster, the legend of course endures. But as we'll see, Loch Ness is just the beginning. Imagine walking across a vast, desolate moor. The wind is howling, the light is fading, and out of the corner of your eye, you see it. A large, black, panther-like cat moving silently through the grass before vanishing. For decades, this has been the experience for countless people around Bodmin Moor in Cornwall. Known as the Beast of Bodmin Moor, this cryptid is one of Britain's most famous phantom cats. Reports surged in the late 1970s, with farmers finding livestock killed by strange injuries and locals reporting fleeting glimpses of a powerful feline. The descriptions are always consistent: a big cat, 3 to 5 feet long, with a long tail and piercing yellowish eyes. The sightings became so numerous that in 1995, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, MAFF, launched an official investigation. The conclusion was unsatisfying. They found no verifiable evidence of a big cat, but they couldn't entirely rule out the possibility either. Then things got weirder. A boy found a leopard skull on the banks of a river, sending the media into a frenzy. However, the Natural History Museum later determined it was an imported artifact from a leopard skin rug. So, what is the Beast of Bodmin Moor? One popular theory is that these cats are descendants of exotic pets, like pumas or panthers, that were released into the wild after the Dangerous Wild Animals Act of 1976 made them too expensive to keep. There are even persistent, though unproven, rumours that animal trainer Mary Chipperfield released 3 pumas from her zoo near Plymouth in the late 70s after it closed. While sightings continue, no conclusive evidence has ever been found, leaving the Beast of Bodmin Moor a true shadow of the British countryside. From a creature of flesh and blood, we turn to one of pure terror. On the coastlines and country lanes of East Anglia, there are whispers of a ghostly black dog the size of a calf, with shaggy fur and eyes that glow like burning coals. They call him Black Shuck. The name Shuck is thought to come from the Old English word skuka, which means devil or fiend, and for centuries, seeing this beast was considered a death omen. This isn't just a simple ghost story, it's a legend written in history. The most infamous account of Black Shuck comes from August 4th, 1577. During a terrifying thunderstorm, a pamphlet from the time titled A Stronger and Terrible Wonder describes how a great black dog burst into the church in the town of Bungay. It ran down the aisle, passed between 2 people kneeling in prayer, and, in an instant, wrung both of their necks. That same day, the creature reportedly appeared 12 miles away at a church in Blithburg, killing a man and a boy and causing the church steeple to collapse. As it fled, it left scorching claw marks on the church door, marks that you can still see to this very day. Unlike phantom cats, Black Shuck is rarely considered a physical animal. It's a supernatural entity, a harbinger of doom, and while the terrifying violence of the 16th century has faded, sightings of a large, spectral black dog are still reported in East Anglia, a chilling reminder that some legends never die. Our next tale takes us to the northeast of England, and a legend that feels like it was torn from the pages of a fantasy epic. This is the story of the Lambton Worm. It all begins with John Lambton, the rebellious heir to the Lambton estate, who skips church one Sunday to go fishing. An old man warns him that no good will come of it, but John doesn't listen. He ends up pulling a bizarre, tiny, worm-like creature from the river where, disgusted, he throws it down a nearby well and forgets all about it. John then leaves to fight in the Crusades for 7 years. When he returns, he finds his father's lands in ruin. The worm from the well has grown into a monstrous, dragon-like beast, so large it could coil itself around a hill. It terrorised the countryside, devouring sheep and snatching children. Filled with remorse, John seeks the advice of a wise woman. She tells him to cover his armour in spearheads and fight the worm in the river. But there's a catch. After killing the worm, he must kill the first living thing he sees, or his family will be cursed for 9 generations to never die peacefully in their beds. John arranges for his father to release his favourite hound after the battle. John fights the worm in the river. As the beast tries to crush him, it impales itself on his spiked armour, its pieces washing away before they can rejoin. Victorious, John sounds his horn, but his father, overjoyed, forgets the plan and runs to congratulate him. John can't bring himself to kill his own father. The curse takes hold, and for 9 generations, the Lords of Lambton were said to have met violent, untimely ends. For our final stop, we return to Cornwall, to the woods, around an old church in the village of Moornan. Here, a much more modern, but no less terrifying legend was born, the Owlman. The story starts in April 1976. 2 young sisters on vacation reported seeing a massive, feathered birdman hovering over the church tower. The girls, June and Vicky Melling, were so terrified that their father supposedly cut the family holiday short and left immediately. A few months later, in July, 2 other girls, Sally Chapman and Barbara Perry, were camping near the same church. They heard a hissing sound and saw a figure that looked like an owl as big as a man, with pointed ears, glowing red eyes and black, pincer-like claws. The creature then flew straight up into the air and disappeared. Sightings continued sporadically, all centred around Moornan Church. The creature was dubbed the Owlman, drawing comparisons to America's Mothman. Of course, there's a healthy dose of skepticism here. Many of the original reports were linked to a paranormal researcher and known prankster named Tony Doc Shields, leading many to dismiss the whole thing as a hoax. But does that explain every sighting others have been reported since, seemingly with no connection to him? Real or not, the Owlman has become a fixture of modern British cryptozoology. The image of a winged, man-sized owl with glowing red eyes is hard to forget, and it ensures the woods around Moornan will forever hold a certain dark fascination. From the deep waters of Loch Ness to haunted churchyards, it's clear that Britain is a land teeming with monsters. These stories are more than just spooky tales. They're woven into the cultural fabric of the places they inhabit. They speak to our deep fascination with the unknown and the thrilling possibility that just beyond the veil of our ordinary world, something extraordinary and terrifying is waiting. And while science may try to explain them away, the legends themselves live on.